Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Before I get you into what this podcast has for you, allow me just take a minute to tell you that your support is not taken for granted in this channel. And we really appreciate your support that you've been providing to this channel since we started it. And now, dear ladies and gentlemen, just a humble request that if you're watching us and you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, like our videos, and comment. And to those who have already subscribed to this channel, we say thank you very much for your great support to this channel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you remember the attack that took place in Othaya constituency in Nyeri County on Sunday. That was the attack on Rigathi Gachagua that most of the reckless MPs from Mt Kenya have been moving around and trying to tell the public how Rigathi Gachagua made the attack himself. But surprisingly, one of the police officers who were involved in planning this attack, and because he's among those officers who refused to go to do this thing because he felt like attacking the church is not a very good thing to the community. And even attacking Rigathi Gachagua was not good to him because he's among those police officers who were supporting Rigathi Gachagua. So he came out and he talked to the nation and told them what transpired and how the planning was done and how it went through. And in this podcast, I want to reveal to you what he just said about that attack. So stay tuned for you to get the information as full and as raw as it is.
Murkomen, CS, Haji, the DVP, Amin,
the DJ,
the DJ, Amin, the one in charge of
DCI,
NIS or DCI, and the NIS fellas are all responsible. Hii Kenya tunajulikana dunia mzima. Hawezi panga jama kama hiyo bila watu kunusa. They knew. Why did they take action?
But before I continue, allow me just start by saying this, that Betty Maina, who is among those Mt Kenya leaders, trying to engage the public in how Rigathi Gachagua made this attack by himself. I want to tell you, shame on you, Betty Maina. I believe you're above this. And actually, Millie Odhiambo has made me happy today. Millie Odhiambo has made me happy. And in this podcast as well, I'll give you the statement that Millie Odhiambo gave out about that incident that took place in Othaya. And I think what Millie Odhiambo said, this is what most of the leaders should be doing. Yes. This is what the other leaders should be doing. And to be truthful, let us just be truthful for just even a minute. We Kenyans, we are not serious. And if we think this thing was done to Rigathi Gachagua, then we are getting it wrong. You see this thing going on to Rigathi Gachagua, if we continue entertaining this thing, then we will find ourselves into what Uganda is going through. Yes, and let us not lie to ourselves. We need to be serious, we as Kenyans. Now, I want to get this statement from Millie Odhiambo. Millie Odhiambo said this: back to the city. When I was away, there was an attack on people in a church by people said to be police. In case those were policemen, that amounts to abuse of power, and I condemn the same. I am especially horrified that it was done at a place of worship where the majority were women and children. I do not support Gachagua politically, but wrong never becomes right because it does not affect me. As a person who has been a victim of police brutality severally, I urge that we find better means of dealing with divergent views. That is a perfect say from Millie Mabona Odhiambo. She said yes, she doesn't support Rigathi Gachagua politically. We accept that is true. But the fact that Rigathi Gachagua is being attacked and that does not affect her should not make her stop condemning the act that is wrong. And I agree with Millie Odhiambo. And actually, I listened to the statement from the clergy of the Witima ACK Church.
The 25th January 2026 became the darkest day in our church history. The Christians and the vicar in charge of this parish gathered for worship, and they looked forward to an edifying service. Just as the service was about to start, the former Deputy President, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, and other leaders joined the congregation for worship. As the worship continued, goons and police officers arrived and started attacking the church, robbing tear gas canisters and shooting using live ammunition direct to the worshippers. This disturbed the service, causing fear and panic where Christians camped for safety. As a church, we feel that our right of worship was violated. Little children were traumatized, aged parents were harassed and disorientated, the clergy were terrified and intimidated, and the political leaders were also harassed. Yesterday's event unearthed a grave and a sad state of our nation. The police officers were recklessly shooting live bullets and throwing tear gas canisters into the church. It is evident that the goons who are throwing stones and carrying crude weapons were collaborating with the police in this attack. The burning of vehicles and deflating of tires were done at the watch of the police who are present. This clearly portrays the misuse of the police service to achieve selfish gain. As the Diocese of Mt Kenya West, we highly condemn the heinous and barbaric acts on our church by goons and the police. This sad occurrence raises pertinent questions. Yesterday's event evidently shows the use of police vehicles. To be precise, 2 were used, and one registration number GKB765X was accompanying matatus from a certain circle which were ferrying goons to the church. The question is, from whose command and for what purpose were the police vehicles and officers operating? As a church, we have seen incidences involving police and goons in the public on several occasions, and mostly in political matters. Has the police force or police service been compromised and held hostage by the goons and militia in this country?
Police said this. Now listen to what the police said so that you know that this thing that took place, Rigathi Gachagua is not the person who planned it. Now listen to what this police officer said about that Rigathi Gachagua's attack. And because he refused to do this thing, that is why he's giving out this statement. And because they are among those police officers who always stand for their voices. You know? Listen. He said, Sunday church attack during church service in Othaya, Nyeri was allegedly planned days in advance in Nairobi, with orders issued to ensure minimal police interference. This is according to an officer who claimed to have been part of the operation. The officer told Daily Nation that a team of 15 officers was assembled in Nairobi on Friday and cleared that evening to disrupt a church service at Witima ACK Church. The team was allegedly contacted to link 20 youths from Nyeri County, while local police officers were ordered not to interfere. He also revealed that the meeting was convened by 2 senior officers based at Vigilance House in Nairobi and 3 elected leaders from Mt Kenya region, one of them being a woman. The mission was to attack Rigathi Gachagua and, if possible, injure him. However, the plan ran into resistance within the team. Some of us were afraid to attack a church, and there were loyalty problems when some officers opened up to show support for Rigathi Gachagua. Around 11 a.m. on Sunday, shortly after Gachagua arrived at the church, a van and a Toyota Probox drove in the church, escorted by police vehicle. According to the witness, at least 15 police officers descended on the compound and began firing towards the church and at the vehicles parked outside. Now, that is what took place. Then you listen to other leaders like Betty Maina and C.S. Ruku, among others, even including Oscar Kipchumba Sudi, saying that Rigathi Gachagua stage managed this thing by himself. How can you attack yourself? You know, sometimes we are being fooled. You know, if Rigathi Gachagua was stage managing this thing by himself, he could have gone to other regions, not their region. And actually, by the end of this podcast, I also want to tell you the reason why this attack is only done in the church and in Mount Kenya, but not in other regions or any other places. So the National Police Service has mandated investigation on police officers who are involved in Rigathi attack on Sunday. You know this is something that actually we don't have a government. We don't have government. To be truthful, let us just tell ourselves the truth. We don't have government here. So tell me, how can I send you to go and beat someone? Then when I get the reports, I say that I'll do an investigation about that. Yet I know very well I'm the one who sent you. Can that thing happen? You know, we are being fooled, and it is high time we Kenyans, we need to stand by ourselves. And actually, even by the leaders we do elect, we should be very careful on the leaders we elect. And let me tell you the reason why this attack only happens in Mount Kenya region and in church, but not any other place or outside church. Reason number one, why it happens in Mount Kenya is because the government is trying to make us have that perception that Rigathi Gachagua is not wanted in their region. And that is something we cannot even accept to buy. Someone like I myself, I cannot accept to buy that. Rigathi Gachagua is loved in their region. The people love him. So the government, you better stop convincing us to have that perception that Rigathi Gachagua is not wanted in their region. Number two, the reason why this thing only happens in church is because the government wants to create some fear to the church so that when Rigathi Gachagua makes a request that he wants to attend a church service in a certain church, then that church will have fear because they know if Rigathi Gachagua attends church there, then that service will be disrupted. There will be chaos there. Why? Because they always attack Rigathi Gachagua in any church service he does in Mount Kenya region. And because they know very well that when Rigathi Gachagua gets to the ground, inakwambia, when Rigathi Gachagua gets to the ground, you cannot compare Rigathi Gachagua with William Ruto in terms of convincing the people, in terms of passing the message. You cannot compare Rigathi Gachagua with William Ruto on that. Rigathi Gachagua knows that very well. And that is what they are trying to prevent, because the more Rigathi Gachagua gets to attend the church services, the more he convinces the masses not to support the two-term. And that's what they are trying to do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this podcast. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, like our videos, comment and share. And to those who have already subscribed to this channel, we say thank you very much for your continued support to this channel, dear ladies and gentlemen.
This police constable is armed. He has been moving around with him. This police constable, together with Mr. Kufai, the official bodyguard for the MP for Mukurweini, Honorable Kagusha, they have been organizing how to get tear gas for, of course, their drama. And this police constable, he has access to tear gas. He has an AK-47, which he came with in Better North. He almost, together with Mr. Kufai, the official bodyguard for Mr. Kagusha, they almost killed the CS, Honorable Alice Wahombe. And when we nabbed their phones, they were communicating with the Honorable Kagusha and other goons which they had brought to Better North, and they were tracing the movements of CS Alice Wahome.